Good morning. Today we're going to do peeking snowmen, which I think is adorable. I've done a couple of different versions, and we are going to do the natural stone today. I'm not going to paint a color on the background, and we're going to start with our pencil. The materials you need for the lesson are listed at the end of the video under comments. So please check that out, but it's basically the same as last time. Okay, and I'm going to start with a simple pencil line. It certainly does not need to be perfect. And then, excuse me, I'm going to go right into my snowman head, my first one. And it's going to look a little bit like that. And the next one, the middle snowman, is the biggest. So I'm going to make him, he literally is touching the other snowman. So start your second snowman line partway up your first snowman. And then the third snowman is actually the smallest. I want to have lots of room for some kind of a top hat. Okay. The next thing I'm going to draw is the hat on the first snowman, which is a typical winter hat, and it actually is going to come right around. So there is some overlap there, and that's okay. Those lines will disappear as you paint. And it's just kind of a floppy-ish hat, and it's going to have a pom-pom at the top. Okay. No hat on that one. And this snowman, he gets sort of a top hat that's definitely not perfect lines, but as you can see, easy to make. And there is the ribbon that will be like the blue color right there. Okay, that's the first step. The next step is painting the snowman faces white. I've poured some white paint and I'm ready to go. Now, it may be hard for you to see the lines that I'm seeing, but I will finish the rest of this so you don't have to watch all of this. But that's all I'm going to do, is just paint each snowman face white. The next step is painting the floppy hat. I'm going to use 2 shades of blue. You can use whatever you like, whatever your favorite colors are. And I'm gonna pour both of my blues. I don't like to pour them in advance because they dry up so quickly. Okay, so here I go. So I could have just followed my hat lines and not painted the middle snowman face white all the way over here, but that's just more complicated than it needs to be. So I'm just painting over the white, and it's not a big deal, if you know what I mean. Okay, so that's that part of the hat. So what I did was I skipped the space because the space is going to have the lighter blue color. So I always rinse my brush, and then I do dry it with a paper towel. So it's good to have your paper towels handy. All right, and then I'm going to do the light blue. And the dark blue is wet, and I can see that I probably will need a second coat, which is fine. So I'm going to also do the pom-pom light blue. Again, you can do whatever you want. If you want to do 3 different colors, that's great. Whatever you like. I tend to like to bring the ribbon color. I like it to be one of these colors from this hat, so it ties it all together. But that's personal preference. Okay, the blue hat is done. I added a second coat of light blue, and now I'm ready to paint the top hat, which is mostly black. And again, this hat is not perfect. It's a snowman hat. I sort of like the imperfection of it. It's a little floppy. That's good. Okay. And at the end, we're going to add some white to make it look distressed, just for fun. Okay, so there's the black. Put that down for a second so I can dry my brush. And now I'm gonna go over, and I can choose either blue. I'll probably go with the lighter blue just to make it pop a little more. And I'm just gonna do my stripe. There we go. I'm gonna add one more coat of that light. The next step is to put a little bit of gray right along the top of the snowmen's faces, because it gives it a little shadow and makes it look a little more three-dimensional. So sometimes I do this after I go over the lines with my black marker, but I realize that it's really easier to do it at this stage. So that's what I'm gonna do. This may be a little thick, this bit of gray, so that's fine. It's easy to fix because I can just, excuse me, I can just let it dry and paint white over it. So it's not a problem. If I feel like at the end that my gray is too much. There's always a way to fix everything, which is the beauty of art and rocks. Okay. Kind of like the way that is. And in the next step is to use my marker, which is, again, any kind of paint pen that you have, and I'm going to go over all of the lines that I initially made with pencil so that they pop. Okay, I think I'm going to start over here. I'm trying to do it so you can see. So let me start here. And this is a little awkward, but I noticed in my other videos, this is the part that tends to be hard for you to see. So anyway, I'm going to continue doing my lines, and I will show you what that looks like. Here are the finished lines. So as you can see, I outlined each layer of the hat. I even put in little straight lines at the top to make it look like the fluff of a pom-pom. And again, the black is harder to see, but I did go around each of the hat lines. And then of course, don't forget the bottom line that they're all peeking from. And now the next step is to take your pen again and to start on the noses. So this carrot nose, it always starts with a little half circle, and then you just come straight out. Okay, and then the next carrot is more in the middle of his face again, and this is just gonna stay on his face like that. And then this carrot is gonna come like that. Okay, and then you can do the eyes, which really I just do little circles. And I guess the key is the eyebrows. I like to do a curve on that one. And on this one, I'm going to do a little bigger eyes because he's bigger and he doesn't have a hat. And then he does have a smile, which pops up from the bottom. And I like these little smile lines. And then our last guy has very small eyes. And I'm going to do his eyebrows. Oh, and he has eyebrows too. The center one, they're a little more straight, like that. Okay, I am going to get ready to paint the noses. So what I've done here is I actually painted these two noses white because I realized that I had that black line in the middle of their noses from outlining, and the easiest way to get rid of that is to do white over it and then your color. So now I'm ready to do my orange, which I'm just going to pour a drop, and here we go. So I'm just going to go right over it. I also know that my orange is very thin for some reason, and I would have needed so many coats to cover that black line. So that was another reason I did the white. So it's really just all about getting to know your colors, and that just happens with creating a lot of art and rocks. So, okay, now I'm gonna do my middle nose. It's a nice big one, easy to paint. And if you find that you get paint on your black lines, not a big deal. You can always go over them at the end when they're dry. Okay. The next step is painting the pink cheeks on the snowman, like this one has. So I've already mixed my pink. I had to use, I had to make it with, you know, a darker pink and a white because I didn't have a good light pink in my supply. So that's no big deal. And it's just very pale. It's, again, it's a little half circle that's popping up on either side of the nose. It's not supposed to stand out too much. And a little bit above his smile lines. And then again, a little itty bitty bit of pink showing. If I feel like I did too much, I'm just gonna let it dry and cover a little bit of it with white. But that looks about right. We are now at the finishing touches of our peeking snowman rock. The next step is to take your brush and use a little bit of white. You may even get some off of your brush so that it doesn't come on too heavy. And what we're gonna do is just paint a little bit of white on the hats, just to show the curve of the hats. It's very subtle. It's supposed to be a little bit of shadow and showing a little three-dimensional quality, and a little bit on the black hat. And again, if I feel like I did too much or something, all I have to do is paint over it with the color that's under it. So in other words, if the black was too much, if the white is too much on the black, I could just take black paint and paint over it a little. But I actually think that looks about right. Okay, we are ready to make the snow falling like I did on this rock. That's the beauty of using the natural color. Or I could have painted this a background of blue and made snow falling. So, but the way I do it is I take the back of my paintbrush and I dip it into, this is what I mean by having a nice puddle of paint. So I'm going to dip it right into that. And then I'm just going to start making random snowflakes all around. I'm even going to do a few on the hats because, of course, the snow will fall on hats and it makes it look a little more realistic. And then under too. And you can do as many as you like. You don't have to do snowflakes if you don't want to. It's up to you. But these are kind of fun extras. And then you just wipe off your paintbrush end when you're done. Okay, last step is to simply add a few lines to the carrot noses. Just, oh, sorry, I gotta hold it up. Just to show the, just to make it look a little more realistic. And it's not a big deal if you choose not to do it. It's absolutely fine. But that's it. There's our peeking snowmen. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you did and hit a thumbs up. Next time, we are going to do Snow Blob. I love him. I think he's so cute. Another version of him is a sitting one. But I think we're going to do this on my next video, which should come out Tuesday, though there is a chance there may be a bonus video this weekend. We shall see. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Live from Sunset Studios. See you soon.